Tiffany, we're here to celebrate you and your book. Let's give a round of applause for Tiffany Hall. Remember that name, Tiffany Hall. Why? Because she wrote a fabulous book. Actually, she called me up and she wanted me to, well, she wanted Dwight Eubanks to, she wanted to interview Dwight Eubanks over this book. And I said, well, what is the book? And she said, Find Gay Men. I was okay with that. Then she said, what a waste. With that, I cracked up laughing. So I said, what is it called again? She said, Find Gay Men, What a Waste. And I met this young lady, Tiffany, and she is a delight. And she has a wonderful story to tell, and we're going to get to that. But just before I do that, I just need to see, did all of you get a chance to read the book?
Yes.
Yes. And how do you enjoy the book?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Yay! So,
Yes.
this is a very interesting book, very interesting title.
Yes.
So, but it says, Find Gay Men, What a Waste.
What a waste.
So let's start with What a Waste.
Okay.
Then we can roll up to Find Gay Men,
Okay.
but let's start off with What a Waste. What inspired you to write this book, and why do you feel that gay men are a waste?
Okay. Well, what inspired me to write the book is that I am originally from Detroit, in the inner city. And in Detroit, there are not a lot of openly gay black men. It just doesn't happen. And then moving here to Atlanta back in 2005, there are a lot of openly gay men.
So you think it's more gay men in Atlanta?
Oh, absolutely. Well.
Okay.
There may not be as many, but there are more here that are open for sure. There may be a lot of men in Detroit on the down low, but there are way more men in Atlanta that are openly gay than in Detroit. Yes, absolutely. So I was just, really it was culture shock. Because I'm like, oh, he's cute, and then he'd walk away, and it's like the little switch, and I'm like, stop. You know, this is a bit much. So, you know, I was feeling a little bit, you know, judgmental, and said, you know, maybe I need to just talk to them and kind of ask the questions that a lot of women, a lot of people in general, want to know the answers to, instead of being just so judgmental and cutting them off, just like, ew, you know, what a waste. And
right. So you had negative connotations or thoughts about gay men, but
Absolutely.
you said something interesting, and let me just revisit that just for a second. You said, well, he was a good-looking guy, and then he walked away with a twitch. Do you actually think that most gay men actually have a twitch? Because the reason why I asked that, I think the reality of it is that there are a lot of gay men that have a twitch, but I think it's even more gay men that are gay that don't have that twitch at all.
Right.
And I think that's where the problem is. I think.
so they should have a twitch.
No, I don't think they should. I don't think they should have a twitch. I just think that people are people and men are men, and then you have some
Men are men.
Men are men, and you have some men that are effeminate, and you have some men that are not so effeminate. But I also think that if we were going to define men, I don't think that men are defined by who they sleep with. That's just me personally. That's just me personally. I think there are a lot of gay men who do a lot of good.
They do.
For the world
They
and
do.
for people.
They do.
But unfortunately, we're defined or
By who you
defined
sleep with.
by who you sleep with.
Exactly.
But let me get back to you with your journey. I mean, you can be bothered of course, right?
Okay.
But let me get back to you with you're here in Atlanta, and you felt that you needed to go on with that journey. And what did you find?
Wow. I was shocked, very much, to say the least. I was really shocked. But, excuse me, one thing that I did learn from the book was that the guys, I call them my guys. I affectionately call the guys that I interview my guys now. And through the questions and through the relationships that I built with them in doing the interviews, I look at them more now as human beings and men who do great things and men who take care of their families, professional men, you know, besides who they sleep with. But I think that a lot of people in the heterosexual community, that's what we think. You're gay, you sleep with men, end of story, what a waste. You know, never mind all of the other stuff that you do for the other, 23 hours and 40 minutes in a day.
Right. Well, tell us about some of the people you encountered in the book, and how did they impact you in changing your thinking? Or evolving your thinking. I wouldn't say change your thinking, but evolving your thinking.
Well, I mean, there's one guy in the book, his name is Charles. He is an openly gay black news anchor in Detroit, which to me is really brave. And he's also a radio personality. He's actually threw his hat into the political ring now. So I really learned a lot from him. I call him the godfather of all things gay. So whenever I had a question now, I know that I can go to him and he will give me a very honest answer. And all of the guys that I talked to were very clear about them being more than just gay men. So to me, that was huge, because I literally would just look at them and say, what a waste, you're going to hell, what a waste, you're going to hell. You know, that is really, I was way on that end of the spectrum.
That's a milestone. You know, that's coming a long way and a leap, because unfortunately, for a lot of women who are scorned or angry, whatever you want to call it, they will look at a gay man and they define that person within 20 minutes out of the day, forget everything else and what they do with their life, and then they're going straight to hell, they're going to burn, or they're just no good, or they're a waste.
Right.
But you've evolved a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
But you still think that define gay men are a waste, though.
I still think that they are a waste. Yes. Because, well, you know, and I'm married.
Explain that.
Okay, and well, first of all, let me say this. I didn't come up with the title. It was one of my guys that I interviewed, who is gay, who said, what a waste. He was the one who came up with the title, because I was looking at him one day. He's very handsome. And he said, what a waste. And I said, absolutely. So I think that fine gay men who spend a lot of time around heterosexual women who are single get that a lot, because they wish that he was dating material or a husband for them. Because most of the gay men, they have it all together. They're very charming, very nice, very kind-hearted, very professional, financially stable. That is what a lot of women are looking for. And so to know that you don't want me, what? That is a waste. Yes, that is a waste. And it can be, like I said, for me, I am passionate about it for my single sisters, because I'm like, you know, another one bites the dust, you know, here we go.
Okay, but I just want to make sure that we clarify that and define that you feel it's a waste, because you actually think very highly of these men, and it's a waste, it's a shame, I should say.
It's a shame.
That they're not available to the heterosexual women that are looking for those type of men, but you don't think that the individual themselves are a waste, no good to society. You don't think that?
No, I don't think that. Once I get to know them and talk to them and interview them, then I see, and I know I can't go around and interview every gay man. So I have evolved in that, because, yeah, I did get to look at all of them and say, what a waste, you know, really, you know, what is your, that is so mean, but what is your purpose, you know, why are you here, you know, but I have evolved, and I've come to see that it is way more than just the sex part of it, the gay, that you're a gay, you know, a gay man.
Okay, and just pick out one more of the characters. You spoke of one of the characters already. Pick another,
okay,
and tell us a little bit about him and how that individual has impacted you.
Okay.
Shape your thinking.
Let me see. I would go with Nelson. He's a vajayjay virgin, which means he's never had sex with a woman before. And that...
Vajayjay?
Vajayjay, yes.
What is it?
That is a cuter word for vagina. And the P word just, whoo, I can't, that P word does something to me. I can't say that.
So the new thing, did you know that? So he hasn't had any taste of vajayjay.
No.
Tell us about vajayjay less.
Yes, he's a vajayjay virgin, and that really really shocked me, because it's like, how can you say you don't want it if you've never had it? You know, surely you should try it before you decide. Before you decide you never ever, you know, want any. So, but I mean, he is just very solidified in who he is. He has his wedding planned to the T. So that to me showed me just, you know, the liberation, and it was, I guess it was good for me to see that, okay, he's comfortable in his skin, his family is accepting of him and his relationship, and he's actually an Asian male, and he said that that is a no-no, big
and that's
no-no.
the thing, in the book, you went across the spectrum, so there's a diverse sort of interview of the people that you had, and you had black and white and Asian.
And Hispanic.
Hispanic, okay. Now, for your book, just before we go out to all of your fans or your supporters, if you had any final thoughts, if you wanted what would you have anybody to take away from the book? What would that be?
That we need to start dialogue in the heterosexual community. That dialogue, we just need to start talking. That it needs to stop being the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. You just want to push that to the side, or pretend as though it doesn't exist, or condemn, you know, gays and lesbians to hell, and not begin the dialogue, because children are dying, and people are being ostracized all the time because of our ignorance. And I don't say ignorance in a bad way, but ignorance in the way of lack of knowledge. So that is what I really want people to get from the book. Just, you know, start talking. It's not about my opinion. It's not about necessarily the opinion of the guys in the book, but just start the dialogue with your friends and your family. And what if it was your son, or what if it was your brother or your uncle? Would you know what to say? Would you know, how to handle it? And not that this book is the manual for all things gay, but just it scratches the surface, I believe, for a lot of heterosexuals who don't know anything about the homosexual community or how to handle it.
I agree. I applaud you for writing the book, because
you.
I think the written word is the vehicle by which we define thought and shape our communities, and of course it takes a historical perspective, and sometime down the line or down the future, your book may be, widely read. And let's hope that it is widely read, and so that it impacts lives and changes minds.